All right, everyone, the first exercise that we want to introduce is the air squat. Now, every single person, regardless of how you scored on the AMI, will learn how to air squat. The reason for that is that every single person lands in a similar position when they jump and land in sports. So what we're gonna do is learn how to do this correctly so that it can then transfer over to other movements that we perform on the field of competition. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with a shoulder width stance with our toes straight forward. We're going to have our arms straight ahead of us so that we keep our back in a good position the entire time. This movement starts with pushing our hips back and having our chest come over our knees. This way we're moving our center of gravity right in the middle of our foot. From this position, we're going to drive our knees wide so that they stay in line with our toes, and we squat down. Notice that his knees are in line with our feet. To do that, we drive our knees as far as they'll go, but we don't want to come too far to where you roll up on the outside of your feet. So we want to keep our feet flat, keep our knees in line with our feet as we squat down. Now let's look at that from the front one more time. So arms straight forward, hips back, chest forward, squat down, and back up. We'll look at this from the side view. Arms go forward, hips go back first, chest comes over, squat down. The arms forward, keep the back in a good position. Now let's see if he did that. Let's come up first, and let's do this without keeping the arms forward. Too many times when people squat down, I'll squat, and they keep their arms down. It's normal to round your upper back. So we want to keep our back in a good position, nice flat back, arms straight forward, and back up. Just like that. That's the air squat. Practice that at home. Our next exercise that everyone's going to learn is a front squat. Now, most people do a front squat, they think of holding a bar here or across their chest. We're gonna do the same thing except with a PVC pipe, and with a little bit of a twist, our arms have to stay straight forward. Now with this, the arms are gonna go straight forward, and the bar, PVC pipe, has to sit straight across the chest. If at home you don't have a PVC pipe, you can use a broomstick, just take the broom off the end, and that'll be significant enough for that. So from right here, we're gonna do the exact same thing, except when we push our hips back, we're not gonna go as far back because we need the PVC pipe to rest on the shoulders. Hips go back just slightly, knees stay in line, squat down, keeping the arms straight forward. As you can see, the knees stay in line with the feet, so push them out if you need to, but not so far to where your feet roll on the outside. From here, we're gonna drive our hips back up, keeping the chest up the entire time. Let's look at this from the side view. Our arms stay straight forward. We're gonna push our hips back slightly and our chest forward. Now our center of gravity is right in the middle of our feet. It needs to stay here. We don't wanna be too far back on our heels. We also don't wanna be too far forward on our toes. As we squat down, the PVC pipe should rest completely on the shoulders. If for some reason you don't keep these arms up, the PVC pipe falls off. This is your cue that you have your chest in a good position. Every athlete should be able to do an air squat and keep their trunk in a good position with a front squat. The demands to do a front squat on our trunk make it a lot harder, so we need to be able to show that we have good core stability with our trunk and our hips to be able to keep our trunk in an upright position. If you think about it, when you land after grabbing a basketball or maybe grabbing a catch, you need to be able to land in an upright position. We're not always in a forward position. We need to also keep our chest in an upright position. That's where the front squat comes in. Okay, try that at home. All right, everyone, the next exercise that we're gonna introduce is the overhead squat. Now, as you saw a common trend, we went from an air squat to a front squat. Now we're making it even harder on our body to stay more upright with an overhead squat. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take a PVC pipe, or at home, if you don't have one, maybe a broomstick. We're gonna put it above our head. We're gonna completely extend our arms, and the PVC pipe has to rest completely over the head, around the ear area. From here, the exact same movements happen as before. The hips go back just slightly, and then we squat down, keep the arms extended the whole time. The knees stay in line with the feet, they don't cave in. We're looking straight forward, and then back up. Just like that. Let's look at this from the side. As you can see, the PVC pipe is directly above the ears on the back of the head. Hips back just slightly, and then squat down, keeping the knees wide. Good, pause, and then back up. Just like that. Okay? Now the reason the PVC pipe stays above our head is because we're working on keeping an upright trunk, so it makes it a lot harder for us to be able to control that. What it's going to look like if we don't keep that demand, I'll show above the head. Okay, now what I want you to do is squat down and let that PVC pipe come forward. As you can see, when Dorn does this, he's not able to keep that PVC pipe straight up and down. It shows that he has a lack of core control and hip control right there. So being able to keep that PVC pipe straight above the head is what's really going to make this a lot harder than the front squat and show that we have good movement patterns. Okay, work on that at home. All right, the next exercise that every single person who goes through the AMI Movement Prep Series is going to perform is a goblet squat. Now, the reason we perform the goblet squat is because it is a catch-all movement that is going to stretch out the hips and ankles. So, what we're going to do is we're going to grab a kettlebell, we're going to hold it by our chest, we're going to squat down to where our knees touch our elbows, and then from right there, just let those hips drop even farther until you get into a good squat position. From here, you're going to take your elbows and push your knees out to the side, still keeping your feet flat, and push your chest back a little bit. This is going to get your back in a good position and really stretch out your hips and ankles. Now, every single person should be able to hold this for about 30 seconds for a good stretch and then come back up, making sure that when you come up, you take your hips up first, just like that, and then all the way back up. Okay? Now, every single athlete should have the ability to perform a squat to full depth and sit down here. But if we're not there yet, the goblet squat is a great stretch to be able to get our hips and our ankles fully mobile so that we can perform other movements to full range. Try that at home. What we're using right now is a 25-pound kettlebell. You do not need to use a specific kettlebell weight. We just want something to offset our body weight. So you can use a dumbbell, a weighted plate, anything that's fairly heavy that's going to offset your body weight. The heavier you are, maybe the bigger weight that you're going to need to be able to sit down fully into the squat. Okay, try that at home.